Welcome to GESARA for Dummies. It is May 8, 2025. Let's look at today's news from Professor William Liebenberg, prepared by Martin Stein. Please like, share and subscribe. Join our Telegram group in the comments below. Thank you. Let's go. Iraq and dinar RV. Iraq's budget is ready. The Fed is panicking. The reset is real. The facts. 1. Iraq's 2025 budget? Locked in. 2. Oil suppressed? They've got savings. 3. Currency liquidity? Tightened by the Federal Reserve. 4. Auctions? Draining United States dollars, to build dinar strength. 5. Foreign banks? Iraq's opening new channels in the United States. 6. Iraq paired with Ripple? July 2023 already. But here's the gut punch. The Cabal Fed is stalling Iraq's dollar transfers. Why? Because fiat dollar, petrodollar, dominance is cracking. They know what's coming. And the signs are clear. 1. Iraq is asset-rich, and debt-light. It's poised for revaluation, backed by oil, gold, and trade. 2. China's factories are burning. Whether insurance fraud or desperation, Beijing's collapse is accelerating. 3. Hydrogen discoveries in the U.S. point to a resource-backed financial system. 4. Tariffs are slamming China's gross domestic product, cutting container traffic by 60%. The U.S. is moving towards self-reliance, and economic decoupling. 5. Iraq slashed the circulating currency by half, a textbook RV setup. Meanwhile, the Cabal media says nothing. They won't tell you that fiat is finished. They won't say the Federal Reserve is the problem. They won't mention that central banks across the globe are preparing for gold-backed systems, because it means an endgame for global debt slavery. This isn't a theory. This is a visible currency reset in motion. Fiat is a burning house. Commodities are fireproof bunkers. And Iraq just lit the match. The GCR law. No new pope yet. Black smoke signals more conclave rounds to come. Let's watch this clip.
Romanelli, and just ask them what they'd had for dinner.
We do have
Do we
something
have
coming out of
smoke?
that chimney, but it's definitely
BRICS GCR Nations Alliance. The Shanghai Gold Exchange is now expanding. December, mining legend Pierre Lassonde warned. The day the Shanghai Gold Exchange surpasses the commodity exchange in transaction volume is the day gold pricing shifts from the west to the east. Yesterday, news broke that the Shanghai Gold Exchange is establishing a warehouse in Hong Kong, a clear sign of strategic expansion. The goal? Boost global adoption of yuan-denominated gold products, and challenge the pricing dominance of the Commodity Exchange, a division of the New York Mercantile Exchange, and London Bullion Market Association. We are starting to see record volumes on the Shanghai Futures Exchange, amid heavy retail buying. Is the East versus West on gold pricing starting to play out? Last year, I told you about the coming Cabal Gold RV, and the US dollar assassin Basel III. Well, we are here, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange is forcing gold to RV. Trust in everything is breaking down globally. Gold requires zero trust. US debt. US Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, repeated today that the United States debt has reached an unsustainable path. The script is getting loud. The U.S. Treasury Secretary is now warning that America's government debt is on an unsustainable path. Global debt hits a record of over $324 trillion, a banking trade group says. We are about over the target for the precipice. Banks in the economy. 145 banks shut down across America in the last 5 weeks. Commodities. Why Trump is making critical minerals deals. New critical mineral contracts could impact currency values. Increased demand for critical minerals, especially those used in energy transition technologies, can lead to higher prices for these minerals. This could affect the exchange rates of countries that are major exporters of these minerals, potentially strengthening their currencies. Conversely, countries heavily reliant on importing these minerals might see their currencies weaken due to increased import costs. The African Development Bank has proposed a currency backed by a basket of critical minerals, according to a Reuters article. This indicates a growing recognition of the potential for critical minerals to influence currency stability and trade. In essence, new critical mineral contracts can create a ripple effect across the global economy, influencing currency values through changes in trade balances, import costs, and the overall demand for these essential resources. Did you know that copper pennies and nickels are a critical mineral? I hope you are still saving them. Payment systems. We are getting closer, and Basel III is taking center stage. The Federal Register has recently made a new ruling for a period of time, June 4, 2025. The new ruling will allow Congress and the President to expedite upcoming federal rules. Expedite means to make a process, or action, happen faster, or more efficiently. What this means is that new rules expected to be implemented are currently on hold for a review until the month of June. A regulatory freeze pending review refers to a temporary suspension of new or pending regulations, typically enacted by a new administration to allow time to review and potentially revise or cancel regulations issued by the previous administration. Purpose: the freeze allows the incoming administration to assess existing and proposed regulations to ensure they align with its policy priorities, economic goals, or ideological stance. Mechanism: agencies are directed to pause the issuance of new rules, delay the effective date of recently finalized regulations, or refrain from sending rules to the Office of the Federal Register until reviewed by a designated official appointed by the new administration. Look closely at what is about to happen a month later. The setup of natural resources, such as critical minerals and our metals, will be needed and utilized in Basel III Endgame compliance to back our currency, starting July 1, 2025. Although the U.S. is in Basel III compliance, there is an endgame set of final rules that will activate new banking protocols, on track to be completed by July 2025. The Basel III implementation is likely to cause shifts in the value of currencies globally, primarily due to its impact on bank lending and capital markets. Increased capital requirements for banks could lead to a reduction in lending activity, potentially affecting international trade and capital flows, which can influence currency exchange rates. Basel III impacts the banking system and how it views assets like gold. A global shortage in gold supply can influence foreign currency exchange rates, primarily by increasing gold prices, which often weakens the fiat US dollar, due to their inverse relationship. Countries that import gold would experience a weaker currency, while those that export gold, or have large reserves, would see their currency strengthen. Zimbabwe is selling gold. This is because the price of gold is tied to the value of a country's currency, and a shortage would increase the demand for gold, driving up its price, and impacting the value of currencies used to purchase it. Since January 1, 2023, we have been under Basel III banking protocols for a reason. On July 1, 2025, the U.S. will endure into a period of implementation of Basel III Endgame rules. The Basel III Endgame is expected to be finalized in 2025, but the exact date is uncertain. The new rules are scheduled to go into effect on July 1, 2025, with a 3-year phase-in period. The crypto tug-of-war, how Ripple and Chainlink are shaping the future of blockchain regulation. Q military intelligence: gold shall destroy the Fed. Less than 7% of the global population is invested in crypto, and much less in gold-backed crypto. Less than 0.05% of the global population is invested in gold-backed historical assets, bonds. And this is the wealth that is available, waiting to be distributed. Houston, we have a problem to distribute the available funds. The Seven Kingdoms. Phase 1, the U.S. ramps up spying on Greenland. Agencies have been directed to identify individuals favorable to the President of the United States through spy satellites, communications interception, and human operatives, the Wall Street Journal reports. Laying the groundwork? Once the U.S. takes Greenland, China will take Taiwan. Chinese President Xi Jinping says, Taiwan's reunification with China is inevitable and unstoppable. By that time, Russia would have taken vast land areas of Ukraine. Neighboring countries will also take parts of Ukraine. That sums up your Thursday news. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.